victory. I just got another victory. Opposition say they sick of me. We turn their future to history. They try to hit me, they missing me. Ooh, they in the way. They getting stepped on back in the day. We who they slept on. You see my place. It's never.
What's going on, Knicks Nation, and welcome back to the Sheer Brilliance Knicks. The New York Knicks had a great victory last night. Fourth in a row, 4-game streak, and we're here to talk about it. If you're here for the first time, I want to welcome you to Sheer Brilliance Knicks. This is an episode, an edition that we call, a segment that we call Knicks Deli Edition. Knicks Deli Edition. I don't got my ad-libs up, so. Knicks Deli Edition, we're going to explain what that means a little bit more, but I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining me. Hit that subscribe button if you want to stay part of the SB community and know anytime we drop a live video or any video about our New York Knicks. And of course, my SB community, welcome back. Always great to see you here from the get-go. Let's ride this thing out. Let's go. And also you can't have those people who support you and celebrate you all the time without having those people who don't. So if you're the ops, I see you too. I see you in the comment section. I see you watching the videos. But you know what? You rocking with the best, baby. So we welcome you here too. Friend or foe, we want the smoke. And the smoke is exactly what we're bringing to you today, courtesy of the New York Knicks. 4-game winning streak. We're like the 4 horsemen. 4-game winning streak. 4 games. 4 games. So I want to welcome you here as well. I'm your host, Sheer. All right? I welcome this as a distraction. There's a lot going on in the outside. And to be able to talk about our New York Knicks and to go back and forth with my SB community, it's much needed at this point in time. But we're going to get into it. If you're here for the first time and you never heard what Knicks Deli is, Knicks Deli is where you go after every victory the New York Knicks have. Okay? I am the host. I'm the owner. I'm the proprietor of Knicks Deli. Okay? I'm the chef. All right? And here at Knicks Deli, there are only 4 things on the menu. First, number 1 on the menu is the bacon, egg, and cheese. All right? Now, when you walk into the Knicks Deli, you better not ask for, let me get a bacon, egg, and a cheese. Everybody knows that the New York Deli and the bodega is a staple in New York. And when you go in there for breakfast, you got to ask for the bacon, egg, and cheese. Just like a drive-by, bacon, egg, and cheese. So the bacon, egg, and cheese is 1 item on the menu. And in terms of the victory and the Knicks, it's who are the 3 components to this special thing, this victory, that together help put us over the top and secure this win in Toronto. So we're going to look at who is the bacon, who is the egg, and who are the cheese combined helped us secure this victory. That's the bacon, egg, and cheese. Second item on the menu is the dollar slice. Now, everyone in the world knows that New York has the best pizza. And I know where I am, close to Chicago. That's not a pizza, that's a casserole. So the dollar slice in New York is that stable thing. That is a staple of New York. So we want to talk about who is the player in this game that was stabilizing. Who is the staple to join the bacon, egg, and cheese and help us secure this victory. So we want to look at the player who is the dollar slice of the game. Third item on the menu is the chopped cheese. Now, the chopped cheese is relatively new to the New York menu, but that thing be busting. So we're going to talk about who's the chopped cheese of the game. Who's relatively new either to the lineup or in terms of their impact on the game. They're normally not a regular, but they came in and they helped us secure this victory. And then lastly, on the menu, we're going to look at who is the quarter water of the game. You can't have the chopped cheese. You can't have the dollar slice. You can't have the bacon, egg, and cheese, the bacon, egg, and cheese, if you don't have something to wash it down with. So we're going to look at who's the quarter water of the game. Who is that player that came in and had a spark, either in one quarter or a little bit here, a little bit there in another quarter, that helped put us over the top and get this victory. So that's what we're going to be looking at in terms of the menu here at Knicks Deli this afternoon. Okay? Then we're going to look at who's the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game. And the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment is that moment, whether it's before the game, after the game, something surrounding our Knicks, or sometimes during the game, you hear the announcers say something a little bit off kilter. That makes you look at them sideways and say, nah, son, nah, you wildin'. So we're going to talk about who's the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game here at Knicks Deli. I'm hyped for it. 4-game streak. Let's get into it. Great game last night. And like the title says, clearly there was a new sixth god to arrive in Toronto. There was a new sixth god. And his name is Julius Randle. Okay? Before we get into that, hold on. Let me do typically what I do is Shear's top 5. So let me give my shout out. Shear's top 5 are 5 members of the SB community. People who supported the videos, come in and check me out, leave comments. So I want to shout out Shear's top 5. First, Dan Jones. Second, great Knicks content channel, Clutch B-Ball TV. Shout out to you, sir. Third, Jack City. Fourth, Mike Lilly. And 5, Patrick Campbell. Those are Shear's top 5 for today. Shout out to you. SB community, we growing. Excellent. So let's get into Knicks Deli, folks. Let's do this. Once again, the bacon of the game for me is Julius Randle. Julius Randle has done everything New York Knicks fans have asked him to do, with the exception of get traded, okay? Julius Randle has completed and has done everything New York Knicks fans have asked him to do. Sir, can you please get rid of that spin move? The spin-a-rooney does not work in New York. Please get rid of the spin move. Poof. Spin move gone. Julius Randle got rid of it. Can you please pass the ball and stop getting worried about who gets the accolades? Please, could you just share the ball? Poof. Julius Randle is sharing the ball. Yo, bruh, stop being so sensitive. Get out of your feelings, man. Could you please cut down on arguing with the referees? Poof. Julius Randle cut back. He still does it, but he cut back on arguing with the referees. There is nothing else at this point that we can ask Julius Randle for that he has not done. The man showed up and he showed out. He was embarrassed last meetup with the Toronto Raptors at Madison Square Garden. He was embarrassed. And he should have been. 52 points was dropped on his head. It was dropped on the Knicks' head. But if that's your matchup, they're going to say that was dropped on you as another forward in the game. And he did what we expect him to do if you plan to be a formidable team and if you're the star on that team. You're supposed to go into that arena and you're supposed to make a statement. Julius Randle walked into Toronto and he made a statement. I'm gonna hang 5 of these things on your head in the first quarter. Julius Randle should be the consistent quarter warder because the first quarter this season has been his. Every time you think he's down, every time you think, you know what, reason to trade him, he turns around and he proves why this season is not like last season. This season, Randle is not yesterday's Randle. And I was the first to say when I was done with him. Because I'm probably the most loyal. I was riding with him forever. But he had a little run last season that had everybody pushing him towards the door. But he stopped it. And he said, let me show you who I am now that you got me somebody who can help facilitate this thing. And since he's gotten a point guard, he's changing a lot of minds. Julius Randle showed up last night. He showed up last night. And last night's game was another testament that when you add the right pieces, something can be special. So Julius Mother flipping Randle showed up last night. 32 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. The picture of consistency. And anybody in the NBA and any Knicks fan on Twitter can say what they will about Julius mother flipping Randle. But one thing that you can say, and Bill Belichick will agree to this, is that the best ability you have is availability with the Denzel point. The best ability you bring as an athlete is availability. Tell me a time where Julius has not been available this season. He's an Iron Man. The one thing that was missing, his Achilles heel, is the control mentally. And fortunately, Jalen Brunson helped bring that to him. Brings him peace on the floor that you don't got to carry that burden. You got to take all of the arrows slung by the ops and slung by the own ops in your fan base. And as a result of it, he's playing the best ball of his career. Shout out to Julius Randle. We wouldn't have secured this victory if he didn't get out to the start that he got out to last night. A couple of those shots had me yesing last night. No, yes. 3 times I did that last night. Sometimes you're like, oh man, he hit 3 in a row. He think he's hot. Well, more times than not, he's been proving that if he hits 3 in a row, he's rolling. So I want to give special kudos to the bacon of the bacon, egg, and cheese today, Julius mother flipping Randle. Julius Randle in a great space right now, happy, and his game is showing it. Let's go to the egg of the game. The egg of the bacon, egg, and cheese here in Knicks Deli today is Jalen Brunson. Shout out to Jalen mother flipping Brunson. Yes. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has been one of the best offseason signings in the NBA, if not the best. It feels good. It feels good watching these shows eat crow. It feels good. It feels good watching the ESPNs, the first things first. It feels good to watch the ops actually say, you know what, that contract that the New York Knicks gave Jalen Brunson, they might have got a discount on bringing him in based off of the production that he's been providing, the value he's been providing to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is clear that he is the MVP for the New York Knicks this season. Clear. Not only what he brings in terms of his ability, but seemingly what he's brung in terms of his leadership, his impact individually on every player on his team is just different. And he seems to be the perfect mediating communicator between the coach and the team. Something special happening here. Jalen Brunson was one of the best signings we ever had. I think I saw Ian Beggs say, best point guard since Mark Jackson. Agreed. But the difference is when Mark Jackson came on, he was as a rookie on this team for about 3 years, I think, before we traded him. We're bringing in this point guard with experience. Best point guard that we've had in years, and he's proving it on the floor to the tune of 26 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. You know when your team is a legitimate team when they're finding ways to win when they have injuries. RJ Barrett has been out, and we continue to find a way to win. Even in those losses, if it wasn't a blasphemous blowout, few and far between, with just one move here, one move there, dropping those games. Once again, it's all learning experiences. Jalen Brunson showed up last night as the egg of the game. He continues to prove that he has the clutch gene. He continues to prove that he has the clutch gene. Crazy. When was the last time we had a player that had the clutch gene? And don't tell me Carmelo Anthony. I'm here for the smoke. I know my Melo fans are here, and y'all gonna hate me for it. My SB community, Melo fans in the SB community. Melo is Melo. Melo is a Hall of Famer. But the level of clutch in each of these games, come on, man, how many times can you see a player take a 2-point shot, a mid-range shot, and you're surprised when it doesn't go in? How many times can you see a player put up a 3-point shot and you're surprised when it doesn't go in? I'm shocked when he misses a shot. This little free throw thing was crazy to all of us because he had rattled off like 40 straight at the beginning of the season. It's happening before our eyes and we don't necessarily know what it is. The NBA prior to him coming here knew him as an off the bench player or a sidekick to Luka. New York is going to make him a star. We can complain about minutes distribution all we want. It's Tibbs wearing them out. With the amount of minutes, why is Tibbs leaving him in the game? Did he want him to hit 30? Look, sometimes there's no making Knicks fans happy. Sometimes there is no making Knicks fans happy. When they're on the bench, we need to play the kids. Let the kids run. Get them out there, let them get burned. Let them knock that rust off. Let them throw them in a fire. Let's see if we can mold them while they're malleable from the heat. Throw them out there. And when we throw them out there, you're playing them too much. What are we doing? We're going to burn them out. You're going to do a Derrick Rose on them. What do you want, Knicks fans? What do you want? Jalen Brunson. Listen, at the end of the day, injuries will happen. At the end of the day, injuries will happen. We see what's happening with Zion. I'll be the first. I wanted Zion when the possibilities were out there or the rumors were out there. I wanted him as well. How many minutes have he played? How often does he stay injured? Sometimes it's not necessarily the minutes. If it were the minutes, let's talk about LeBron James. How many minutes have that man played? How many injuries? How durable has he proven to be over 18 years? I know he's different. I know he's a different caliber, but still, facts remain the same. 18 years to be able to have taken care of his body, to play as many minutes as he played and endured as much as he's endured. So let's get off of that and you playing too many. Listen, let the man coach. Let the man who just secured 100 wins in a New York Knicks uniform, which is unfortunately a rarity because we don't keep coaches around that long. Let that man coach. I'm on my stuff today here at Knicks Deli. You're going to get this hot. You're going to get this, first and foremost, in aluminum foil. That don't make sense. But goddamn it, you about to get this word. Let that man coach. Because when you leave him be, he's going to, one, get you to 100 victories. How is he the 8th coach in the franchise to reach 100 victories? And y'all ready to get rid of him? Let him carry out his contract and see what he does. When the contract is up, if we're still not producing nothing, now we can get rid of him. But what we tell the rest of the league is that we don't just give up on you. We give you an opportunity to input what you need to input, see if you can turn this thing around. And then when we let you go, we say, listen, we tried. We gave you a chance. We gave you a chance. But the funny part about this little mix, and you're right with it, is the front office is connected to the coach. The coach is connected to the coaching staff, and the coaching staff is connected to the star player. Some of you call it nepotism, or you can call it being on the same page as an organization. It's difficult to let one of those pieces go because it's so interconnected. Why can't that be stability? Why can't that be, watch, if we win, we become the model for the NBA. Watch, that's how things work. When you find success in what you're doing, Other people imitate it, which is why we have a former player agent as a front office executive, because we've seen it be successful in other places. So Jalen Brunson, man, once again, one of the greatest signings in the NBA. And I think we're just scratching the surface. Do not let us mess around and get into the playoffs at a high seed or at a mid seed. Don't let us mess around and get there, because it's going to be different. Julius got a taste of it. Mitchell Robinson is playing like he's mad he didn't get a taste of the playoffs that time. And that leads me into the cheese of the bacon, egg, and cheese here in Knicks Deli. Mitchell mother-flipping Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is playing like a man possessed. Playing like a man possessed. He's still trying to fill out the refs. He's still trying to get his footing in terms of staying off of foul trouble. But you get six fouls for a reason. You get 6 fouls for a reason. Use them up. Use them up. If you leave the game with just 2 fouls and you have a poor game, that's on you. Use those fouls up. Manage them to the best of your ability. That man quietly pulled down 18 rebounds last night. What are you doing? 18 rebounds last night. What are you doing? 2 blocks. Easy. What are you doing? And we wanted to get rid of this man for Miles Turner. Oh, we need scoring from the 5. We need somebody to float. What are we doing? We got 3 bigs. Interchangeably, look, everybody brings a little bit different. I think Sims and Mitch are a closer match to bringing what it is that they bring to the floor. They bring defense, intimidation, blocks, rebounds. But you got Mitch, who specializes in offensive rebounding. You got Isaiah Hartenstein. I know we've been giving him some slack. Fan base has been giving him some slack. But that man, you can't question his effort. He might got concrete feet, yes. You can't question that man's effort, his energy he brings to the team. And he's new. We can't sell short. Anytime you bring in somebody new who's still trying to get acclimated to the team, acclimated to the way, style of play, the whole experience of being in New York, we don't be taking none of that into consideration. It's almost like once you put the uniform on, just perform. That's all we want to see, just perform. You got to keep in mind these are still humans. But Mitchell Robinson has put together probably his best season since he's been a New York Knick. Best ability is availability. And he's been doing for him a damn good job remaining available, remaining healthy. You can tell clearly he has next to his locker a sheet where he pays attention to the lineups. He pays attention to the matchups that he's facing every game. I love that. If somebody busts his behind in a previous game, then payback's a B. You can tell he's mindful of it. And I love that. Snagging rebound. Every time he takes the ball up, he throws it down with force. Listen, I was tweeting him all summer. Like, first and foremost, my guy, we need to get you back in New York. We need to get you back in New York first and foremost. First and foremost, first order of business. And when you do, you got to stop joking with these cats on the court. You're too playful. When they face New York, they need to know that they got a big man in the middle who plays with force. That's the legacy of the team. Willis Reed, Patrick Ewing, Tyson Chandler, Defensive Player of the Year. That's the legacy, bigs in New York. We're known for skyscrapers, bro. Stop playing with these cats. And he's playing like that right now. It's no easy win. You know when you come to the New York Knicks, you see them on a calendar, it's going to be a problem. You're going to be sore the next morning. You're going to be sore. And that's exactly what we needed. When you got a coach like Tom Thibodeau as your coach, there should be no question defense is going to be played that day. And it starts on the defense. And what he's doing, and he's already called himself out on it. He's already called himself out on it already. He said, I need to talk more. I need to stop being so nice with my teammates. If you're missing an assignment, I need to tell you where you need to be and not care how you receive it. I need to deliver it at the moment, just like Knicks Deli. I need to deliver it hot. I want with my specific seasonings. However, I give it to you and sprinkle Mitch Robinson seasons on it. If it comes out rude, I don't care. Let's talk about it at the end of the game. But be where you need to be on the court, because that's the center. He's the quarterback. He sees everything in front of him. It's his job to mic that thing. And he can't care how it's delivered. Get rid of that nice guy label and you get Defensive Player of the Year. Get rid of that. Stop being friendly. Do your job. And they go from respecting you to fearing and respecting you. That's what we need from the 5 position in New York. That ain't happening with Miles Turner. Stop trying to get rid of we drafted these cats. When we begin to win on a high level, only then will they start getting the Knicks organization credit for hitting the bushes, going into unorthodox ways of finding talent, such as we did when we found Mitchell Robinson, such as we did when we found Jericho Sims, such as we did when we traded for Isaiah Hartenstein. The narrative changes once you start winning. And right now we're sandwiched. 8-game winning streak, 5-game losing streak, 4-game winning streak. When's the last season we had any type of winning streaks more than one? It's different. And the opponents are noticing it's different. The tide is changing in the NBA. Mitchell Robinson is helping change the tide for the New York Knicks. So he is the egg. He is the cheese of the bacon, egg, and cheese. The bacon was Julius. The egg was Jalen Brunson. And the cheese, Mitchell mother flipping Robinson here at Knicks Deli Edition. Let's go. Next up is the dollar slice. But before we go to the dollar slice, let me hop on the chat and see what y'all talking. And pardon me, because I'm a little bit in my bag today. Let's hit these comments up. Shout out to you guys for joining me. I know Knicks Deli is a little bit late today, but we're going to get you right and get you out of here. Shout out to David Piccolo. Larry Johnson was the last clutch player we had. That might be a good argument. Because when he had to switch his game when he came to us because of the back issues, his back to the basket game was legitimate. So David Piccolo, you might be coming with the heat, bro. You might be coming with the heat, bro. Because Patrick was injured that year. That whole run was centered on Larry Johnson's back, bro. You might got a point. David coming with the fire. Yes. So we're gonna hold on to that. In terms of player, Larry Johnson. In terms of point guard, Mark Jackson. But clutch player, Larry Johnson. I think you might be on point, bro. You might be on point. Let's not discount Julius's playoff run. Because however you feel about that man, he was hitting Kobe-esque shots 2 years ago. I mean, falling out of bounds, fade away. I'm talking 3-point shots. I'm talking hand on the forehead defense. 2 seasons ago, Julius Randle was clutch. He was undeniably clutch. But once again, Larry Johnson, that's a great point. Dan Jones says, let's go Knicks, go Knicks. Dan Jones also says IQ and Grimes stepping up big with RJ out. 100%. We talked about the depth. And it's so funny because other teams, obviously they got their own teams to study and worry about. Other fan bases, they don't care. They still caught up in the narrative of the New York Knicks until New York Knicks change their own narrative. So we can't hold that against them if they don't care about what's going on with us. But New York Knicks fans know we got talent on this team. We don't know how long we're going to be able to keep them. They keep playing in at this level because the worst thing that could happen is that the rest of the league discovers who we have on our team. Because don't get it twisted. Emmanuel Quickley is a starting point guard in the NBA. We're going to get to that. He's a starter. The worst thing that's going to happen is that the NBA discovers the talent we have here on the New York Knicks. That's going to be the worst thing. Let me keep this thing going. Let me quarterback this thing. David Piccolo also says if the Knicks was a bodega, Randle would be the register, RJ would be the guy sitting by the door, and Brunson is at the grill cooking up the bacon, egg, and cheese. Let's get it. Yo, Dave, you're a problem. You're a problem. I'm going to have to go in business. We're going to have to franchise this thing. Franchise this thing. That's a great point. My man Steven Mendez, shout out to you, my guy. Will there be an Obi sliding? Ooh, man. Will there be an Obi sliding? We're going to have to get into that. I don't think so. I think it's going to be seamless. I think we're going to see Evan Fournier, his minutes drop off. I think we're going to see, or he might be completely out of rotation. And I think Hartenstein's minutes are going to drop off. I think people are predicting that it's going to be Jericho. I don't think so. I think it's going to be Hartenstein's minutes that drop off, and we're going to see Obi slide and work his way in. And he's going to rotate between Obi because Obi provides offense where he lacks, and he's gotten better on the defensive end. He's gotten better. We can't take that away from him. But he provides that offensive punch that we've been missing, on the second unit. So I think Hartenstein may be, unless, because he also provides that nice little flow that he has at the center position. I don't know. We have to wait and see. I don't know, but I don't think Obi's going to get slighted. I think Obi's part of two things. I think he's part of the future and what we're looking at moving forward in terms of the team or in terms of a movable piece. And the same thing could be said for Julius. He could be part of the future in terms of, listen, let's keep this thing together, or you don't know if there's going to be a deal that blows everybody out of the water and he's one of those pieces. But I don't know. But I don't think it's going to be a slight to Obi. I think Tibbs will find a way to work him in. Let's keep this up because there's a number of comments I want to get through before I move on to the dollar slice of the game. Let me see. So David Piccolo also says, and Grimes and IQ would be in the back selling that smack. Yo, only New York, baby. Only New York. I ain't even going to co-sign that. You know what I mean? I got that blue magic for you. Hold on for a second. Dan Jones says concrete feet. Yeah, once again, man, Isaiah Hartenstein, bro. Sometimes he got them cinder blocks on his joints. David Piccolo also says, I like that this is a complete team and everyone brings something special that complements each other. Bro, I will say this. Knick fans, please stop reading any negative clippings. Please don't get caught in the clickbait where First Things First or ESPN, they try to lure you in to listening to a narrative that slights this team. One thing you cannot take away from this team is how they flipped the culture and how they completely developed a good culture and a good environment surrounding this team. Cam Reddish is one of the most talented players in terms of skill set that you could ever find. You know, Derrick Rose, although he's a veteran now, former MVP just 2 seasons ago, was really a critical player in helping us get to the playoffs once we traded for him and really tried to hold it down for us while in the playoffs. He just didn't have the offensive help. Evan Fournier clearly showed you over the past 2 games due to injury that he still can make an impact no matter how we feel about him on the defensive end. These are players who are attached to our bench right now. And have you heard a peep out of them talking about Tibbs? Have you heard a peep out of them talking about the franchise and that the level of dissatisfaction in the franchise? And there's nobody talking about Knicks being dysfunctional. So don't let the ops, when you come across or when we hit like 2 or 3 game losing streak, stay focused. It's always when we have a couple of stumbles, if you're watching the game and we clearly look like we're not an NBA team, and we've been there before, so you know what that looks like. If it's only a 2 or 3 game stretch and we lost each of those games by 2 to 5 points, don't jump off of the ledge. Let's stop being what they accuse us of being, an emotional fan base. Stick with your squad, ups and downs. But the Knicks have been successful in making sure they create a positive enough of an environment that none of those players, no matter how much everybody says, yo, free Cam, free D Rose, they cut out that outside noise. No matter how, they're frustrated. They're NBA players who play at the highest level, but they're not talking bad about the organization. It's a lot to be said about that. It's a lot to be said about every time a scoring run goes on that you see them up and cheering. You don't see their body language doesn't read saucy or salty. I'm sorry. Their body language doesn't read salty, like they're not happy for their teammates. They're up and they're cheering, they're celebrating their teammates. In New York, the heaviest jersey in the league, supposedly the most negative or the most spotlight. Nobody wants that critical, spotlight. The Nets are having a phenomenal season. The boys are balling out across the bridge. But that environment don't read like New York does. Don't read like the environment in Manhattan. So we got to keep that in mind. Let me read these out. I'm getting stuck. David Piccolo also says, I'm just saying RJ can take his time coming back. Who feels me? I feel you. We need to lean on that. And once again, Tibbs was also saying when Brunson was out, we ain't trying to rush him back. Let him heal up. We will find a way to win. We got to find a way to win. And that's key. Obi is out. Major part of our success, he's out. RJ is out. Major part of our success and plans, he's out. And we're continuing to find a way. The league is in trouble if we figure this damn thing out. And if we get healthy, and we're going to do it at the right time. It is a marathon and not a sprint. So we want to keep this thing going to the All-Star break and give them, hopefully, we give some of them an opportunity to heal up, get their minds right. Hopefully, some of them don't get that opportunity because they'll be playing in All-Star festivities. But it's going to be a telltale sign about how we come out of the All-Star break in that last leg of the season. Okay? So let's keep that in mind. Dan Jones says, no, we need RJ. His size is needed. But we want RJ back at full strength. David Piccolo also says the defense is much better without RJ. We don't want to do that, Dave. We don't want to do that because RJ is a critical piece to what it is we're trying to do. So good, bad, or indifferent, we may play slightly different with RJ in the lineup, but as long as the result is a win, something else in our bag, all right? Dan Jones says, trust me, this team is ready to have RJ back. Right now, they can't afford to have another injury to any guards. Our depth is solid, but no need to push it too much. Agreed. My guy, Allah Wise, what's going on, sir? At Sheer. Peace, my boy, good shot. I appreciate you. We talking our stuff today. 4-game streak. 4-game win streak. They need to put respect on our name. They can't keep us out of the highlights anymore. Wise also goes on to say, get those votes up for the guys. We're going to get into that. Get those votes up for the guys. They're being disrespectful. They are being disrespectful right now. We're going to jump into that. Stick with me. Not going to be too much longer. Towards the end of the show, we're going to touch on that. Dan Jones says Miles McBride will be a big X factor if he can continue to hit this open shot. Yes. And we're going to get the Miles too. Good point. My guy Pudge, nice. Welcome. Appreciate the content. I appreciate you for rocking with us, man. Appreciate you. Join the SB community. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay? We're going to keep this coming. Glad you're here. Dan Jones also says, great analysis. I appreciate you, man. We doing this thing together. So let's hop back in to it. I don't want to keep y'all forever. Let's talk about this dollar slice. The dollar slice is Quentin mother-flipping Grimes. Quentin Grimes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Run up those thumbs up. Run up those thumbs up. Do me a favor. Make sure if you in here at any point in time, if you got to leave a little bit, run up that thumbs up for me. 16 points, 2 assists. Quentin Grimes is a sniper. Quentin Grimes is a sniper. Outside of Jalen Brunson, there is no other player that when he pulls up for that jump shot, I'm just so comfortable with what that outcome is. I look at the basket. I watch the trajectory from the point it leaves his fingertips to the basket. It's a joy watching that man shoot the ball. And you know, top of the key, he's automatic. Top of the key is automatic. I think 3/4 right there on the wing outside the arc, he's automatic. I'm starting to get accustomed to the patterns in which and where he shoots the ball, where he's automatic. That man, we have a genuine sniper. I'm not gonna lie, I was jealous of the Miami Heat a couple of seasons ago. I think it was that playoff run that we had where what's his name? Duncan Robinson was killing the league with his 3-point shooting, killing the league. Where he at now? Where Duncan Robinson at right now? We got us a young sniper. Quentin Grimes, bro. Quentin Grimes. Not only can he shoot the ball, but he moves without the ball. Somebody talk to me. That man cuts and moves without the ball. I'm talking Golden State Warriors cutting and moving without the ball. Ability to drive and enough of a dribble, enough of a handle to be creative around the basket, to keep his eyes always open, letting the big men eat, feeding the big men. When he draws the defense in enough, and I'm going to just hit you with the sauce. I'm going to put some sauce. We here in Knicks Deli. Put some sauce on that thing. I'm going to put the sauce on that thing before I wrap it up and deliver it. Quentin Grimes is doing that. And he's a youngin'. Once again, the New York Knicks are finding these jewels. But the NBA don't know about it just yet. The only way they're going to know about it is when we're on the largest stage, the NBA playoffs. That's why we got to stay the course. Don't jump ship on your own team. Stay the course. Good, bad, or indifferent. Don't feed into the narrative or don't create beefs. You know what? We got to get Obi in here. We need to get this. Stop doing that. They're on our squad right now. They're on our roster. If they're on the roster, we support Jules and we support Obi. So do it right now. Shake hands. Put your hands out. Shake hands with Julius because he's ours right now. None of that. None of that. I'm just waiting to get rid of him with Tibbs. They ours right now. Kill that. That's your coach. That's your player. That's my quarterback. I love the Denzel point. That's my quarterback with Terrell Owens, and those are your players. They wearing these colors. If they wearing these colors, they ours. Stop doing the work for the ops. Twitter be killing me. Be sitting there laughing from afar like, yo, y'all, you serious? You serious right now? Bugging. But Quentin Grimes, once again, man, you the dollar slice. Man, just his contribution almost can lock him up for anywhere between 13 to 16 points. You know what I mean? Couple of 3-point shots. Just golden. You got to guard him. And when you can't let him, what they did last year, man, yo, the NBA was just trolling us last year. They were able to just stay in the paint because they knew we couldn't hit 3-point shots. Quentin Grimes is Moses on our team. He'd be parting the defensive sea. Because the moment he's posted up outside of the arc, they got to go guard him. They got to respect that. And that opens it up for Brunson or Jules to go to work. Just go to work because you got space to work in the paint now. Love that. Quentin Grimes, you the mother flipping dollar slice of the game. Shout out to you, sir. Next up, here at Knicks Deli. Run up the thumbs up, y'all. If you're new in the chat, run up those thumbs up. Next up, we got the chopped cheese. Once again, the chopped cheese is that person that's relatively new to the game or their impact is relatively new. But here in New York, the chopped cheese is relatively new to the menu, but that thing be busting. So who is relatively new to this game? Their input, help bust this thing open, help us secure this victory. And that's no other than mother flipping Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride. Let's go. Can we talk about Deuce today? Can we talk about Deuce? Can we talk about those back-to-back three-pointers that we absolutely needed? Can we talk about him having the confidence to take those threes? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the confidence that his teammates have to continue feeding this kid the ball? No matter how many shots he missed, we don't care. Shoot that thing. Can we talk about when his shot isn't falling, but the man continues to play lockdown defense? And let me take a half step back and give kudos. Shout out to Quentin Grimes. Shout out to Tom Thibodeau, the coach of the first 100 wins of 8 coaches in NBA of the team's history to reach 100 wins. That he put Quentin Grimes on Pascal Siakam. That he put Quentin Grimes on Barnes. Did y'all peep that? It's one of the first things I noticed early. In the second quarter, Quentin Grimes is on Barnes. He's on Siakam. And he's going to work, playing hard, and he still gave us 16. Yo, we different. We are different. Those are our young bucks. And they're not babies no more. They know the role. They know the importance of the role that they're playing this season. They know it. But I was proud to see Quentin Grimes on those bigs, boy. But back to Deuce, man. I'm happy that the New York Knicks have decided to give this young man a true opportunity to get his feet wet, to make mistakes, to give him a role in this offense moving forward, to help determine where we can go when we got these young players that we did take the opportunity to try to develop, let them absorb sitting on a bench, let them play and learn behind veterans. And that all comes from Tibbs' philosophy. I'm telling you, I know I'm old school, and some of you cats may not either be old school, or you may not, you think Tibbs' moves are antiquated. Honestly, to me, Tibbs' process is parental. And we know these are young men, these are young grown men, but his process has an element of being parental, and that's ironic because he's not a parent. I don't think. But it's parental. You know, where you got to tell the young buck, like, yo, listen, watch your brother. Because your brother has experience. You may have more talent. I understand it, but it's not your time right now. It's your brother's time. Your brother has achieved some things in this league. As talented as you are, you're going to have to learn from him. It's the same thing that I don't want to call any of these players Kobe, but it's the same thing Kobe had to go through. Kobe was busting the veterans' ass in practice, but he couldn't get on the floor. Kobe talked about, man, sitting in his rookie year, watching all of his peers kill the league, knowing that he was better than those cats. But he had to endure sitting on a bench a full season without playing. He said, had I played in my rookie year, where would I be in the record books? Would it be so easily for the LeBrons to pass me up in the record books had I been given an opportunity to play in my first year? But it's a process you got to follow in order to learn and be great in this league. So kudos to Tibbs for not only putting these young bucks through that process, but now giving them an opportunity to go out there and make mistakes and learn. And you can tell every game that passes, McBride gets better. Grimes gets better. These players get better, and they're playing together. So shout out to Deuce McBride. Huge cojones. putting up those shots and knocking them down. Those are moments in the season where we're going to look back on it and be like, yo, listen, every player on this team contributed to whatever our outcome is going to be record-wise. Every player. So, the chopped cheese of the game, Deuce Mother Flippin' McBride. Round of applause for Deuce McBride. Let me go back to the chat once again. Let me see what y'all talking. Run up those thumbs up. If you're new to the room, we about to wrap this thing up in a little while. But do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, like button, and let's talk about it. All right? Let's see. Dan Jones says Miles McBride will be a big X factor if he can continue to hit his open shots. Yes, we just talked about that. Pudge Nice also says, appreciate the content. I appreciate y'all as well. Great analysis, Dan Jones. Pudge Nice also says QG. Yes, throw the ones in there if you're a QG fan, man. This young cat, man, we got ballers on this team. Ballers. Dave Piccolo also says, yes, Grimes is that dude, a natural two guard that complements the team. Bro, falling into our lap. We can't get enamored and window shop. It's almost at the point where they're going to start window shopping the New York Knicks. Every victory we get is a loss for the opposite team, and their fan base is going to be like, damn, I wish I had one of those. He's one of those. Zeta Mayor 225. Let's go. Welcome to the chat. Says, hate to see how Tibbs is doing Cam right now. Shaking my head. I'm a Cam fan, but it's necessary. I'm sorry, Zay. I know we're gonna have beef on that one. Okay. But friend or foe, we want the smoke here at Knicks Deli. Okay. But I think it's a long season, bro. Cam just gotta keep locked in. He gotta keep giving this work to them in practice. And he got to stay focused and ready when his time is called and his name is called. The part that sucks is that this is a contract season for him. But he's an NBA player, and every NBA team has scouts. So he's going to get his money. It may not be a max, or it may not be on the same line as his peers. But somebody's going to give him a contract, and he's going to be able to be given an opportunity to play to see if maybe it's an incentive-laden contract, where people are taking a chance on him based off his potential. He does have enough at this point on film that somebody like the Lakers can come in and scoop him and say, listen, we're going to ride with you. All right, we're going to give you this base salary, but these are the incentives. If you hit this, you hit that, you hit this, then it goes up. All right, he's going to be all right. He's an NBA player. Unfortunately, we can't play everybody. History has shown you can't roll with like a huge rotation. That's what history shows. The players that you have in your rotation need to have confidence that they'll be in the game long enough to get their rhythm. So I'm with you. It kind of sucks for Cam, but that's where we are. So the job of the coach is to make difficult decisions, unpopular decisions. And what we do know about our coach is he don't care about being popular. And that's not on his agenda. So, Cam will be all right. David Piccolo says Grimes is better than Reddish. Listen, they're both on our team. They're both skilled. I think in some way, if we need them and we call them up, they're going to perform. Westchester Deuce. We've been waiting for Westchester Deuce. Deuce goes down to Westchester Knicks and punishes the ops in the G League. But he comes up here and forgets how to shoot a jumper. So I'm glad that he's rediscovering his Westchester Deuce, his WD here at the pro level. Okay. Pudge NYC also comes with G League reps paying dividends. And we are one of the only teams, it's rarely talked about, we're one of the only teams that literally leans into the G League. I love that they've taken the stigma away from going down there to sharpen up if you're not getting playing time. You'll go get some reps. Y'all two go down there. We're going to call you up next week. Or you may not take the trip with us. Go get some reps in Westchester. And, we bring you back up. I love the fact that they could do that, man. It's been years since we've taken advantage of that farm system atmosphere. So I love that as well. That's a great point. David Piccolo also says, not that Grimes is better, but he fits the team better. He is quicker and he has a bigger motor. Reddish is special and given an opportunity could be a number one option. I agree. He does have to tighten up defensively though. And whether or not he's with the Knicks next year, his time with the Knicks, I'm sure if he breaks out and becomes a star in this league, as his talent says he should, he's going to give credit to Tom Thibodeau for helping give him a defensive foundation. Prior to him being exiled to the bench, I mean, once again, I'm a big Cam. You could check my channel. I did videos on him and everything, but there were defensive lapses that he was having, and it was frustrating. You know, as much as he was ready to, just easy. I mean, he's so smooth on the offensive end, but defensively, sometimes his height worked against him, where he couldn't fight over the top of the pick or the screen because it would have been an offensive foul. Or when he dropped under that screen to fight around it, he was too slow or too late getting, his arms out to contest the shot. So having that size kind of worked against him. But there was some lapses where I was just like, yo, bro. And there was too many moments where when Cam was on the floor, somebody either get blown by, or it was a leak out and people would lose their assignments and he's looking at either Julius or he's looking at RJ and people are wondering what happened. It was too many moments for that. People forget that. Like I said, I'm a Cam fan. I remember that. I remember being like, yo, Flood, what are we doing, bro? Like, what are you supposed to be? And not, 6 times out of 10, it was Cam. It was Cam. So it was a tough decision. I know, listen, as sports fans, as some of us are former players and athletes, we got our guys. Truth of the matter is, though, they're all our guys. We just need Cam to be ready when we call for him, because what we know about this league and any league in sports, injuries happen. So unfortunately, we don't want it to happen. We just need him to be ready. Okay? The key is if we have him on the roster going into the playoffs. Okay? Because if he gets no burn this season, but gets an opportunity in the playoffs, he'll get his contract if he shows up. So let's just keep him healthy. Let's hope that he keeps pushing our starters and the rotation players in practice. And let's just hope he's ready for the opportunity if it presents itself in the playoffs. Okay? But we don't want to keep putting these players together, man. Like, that's whack. Leandro Lozada, welcome back, bro. Hey, Big Bear, buddy, let's go. I'm telling you, we are cooking something. I'm telling you, yo, something is special here. Something is special. I said in my brief reaction last night, man, I remember when we had that magical run 2 years ago. It was magical for us. It was the first time we was able to talk our talk as Knicks fans to other ops, and they couldn't say nothing because they couldn't argue what was happening. The Garden is the best place to play when you win it. And it's the better place to play when you dominate. When we win in the Garden, I want to dominate. I want to win by like 15 or 20. Because all eyes are on the Garden anytime the Knicks are good and we're playing there. But I remember Taj Gibson saying that, he said, this is special. He said, I feel it. I'm telling you, I've been a veteran in this league. It's something special about this team. It's a magical ride. And I go back to that moment where we were facing the Nets. And they said, how do you feel about that big 3 over in Brooklyn? And it was UNC Bullock and it was Julius Randle side by side. And they said, we ain't worried about a big 3. We got a big 15. And it's the spirit of that statement that I could see in this team. That energy is the same with this team that was with that team. They fight for each other. They could be honest with each other and tell them like where you're not where you need to be. They're growing, and you can see the growth and development. Yo, argue with me if you want that you don't see the growth and development in these players. Tell me you haven't seen the growth in Mitchell Robinson this season. Tell me you haven't seen the ability of the team to grow and relinquish any control to Jalen Brunson, but still also understand they have roles. Tell me you haven't seen growth in IQ this season. Tell me you haven't seen growth in that man. Tell me you haven't seen growth in Julius, who is still young. and just entering the beginning of his prime. We're developing, bro. We're developing these players. All right? So let me wrap this thing up by finishing up Knicks Deli. So give me 1 second. So next up, we did chopped cheese. Shout out to Deuce McBride, who was the chopped cheese. We have the quarter water. And the quarter water is that player that's come in and he had an impact on the game in one quarter, on a couple of quarters this game that makes him the quarter water of the game. And that is Immanuel Quickley. I just got a couple of things to say about Quickley. Quickley's growth has been crazy. It's been crazy. His ability to run the point guard position has flourished under Tom Thibodeau. Since he's come into this league and since Tom Thibodeau has been with the Knicks, I thought that Tom Thibodeau was force-feeding being a point guard to Knicks fans, being point guard for Immanuel Quickley in the NBA. I didn't think it was. I thought that Immanuel Quickley was clearly a shooting guard, and his handle wasn't tight enough to be a point guard. He has clearly proven me wrong this season. And Tom Thibodeau needs to be given credit for giving him free reign and continuing to push that he could be a point guard in the NBA. Tom Thibodeau is going to make Immanuel Quickley a starting point guard somewhere else in the NBA. That's all I got to say about that. The angles that Quickley has been taking, the fact that not only does he sustain momentum for the team, but he pushes the score up while he's in there and Jalen Brunson is out. I thought that would go to Derrick Rose this season. But Immanuel Quickley has come in and he stepped up to the challenge. He looks for his teammates. He looks for the bigs. He's mindful. He doesn't just chuck up shots all the time like he used to. And when his shot isn't falling, he plays hella defense. Immanuel Quickley, if there's a most improved player on the team, Immanuel Quickley has to be in the running for it. And maybe we'll do that. Maybe at the end of the season, we'll have awards. Who's the most improved player on the team? Immanuel Quickley has it hands down. Right now, if you ask me. Immanuel Quickley. So shout out to Immanuel Quickley, who is the quarter water of the game. All right? And as we begin to wrap this thing up, y'all know I have my nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game. And the nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game goes to the mother flipping all-star voters. First returns. Talk to me. This is how you know all-star voters, the initial part of it, the first wave or the first round, are fan-based. Okay? This is how you know there are front runners and bandwagon riders in terms of NBA fandom. This is how you know that to be true. Okay? NBA bandwagon riders. Because you have, and it's very skewed. And New York Knicks fans, sometimes y'all disappoint me. Because we'll be like, oh man, it takes a lot of work to go out there and vote, but then you it's just like, yo, you don't want to do your part to contribute to getting these votes in for these cats. It's multiple times. You can vote one time and three or one, they allow you to throw 3 times in a row. All right. Certain days they say your vote counts 5 times or something like that. We got other fan bases that are putting these guys in. Hell, Nick Claxton on the Brooklyn Nets got votes. And we know that that's because you got KD and Kyrie bringing eyes to that team. That's not because there's more Nets fans. Nah, there's front runner fans. When you're dominant and you got dominant players, then you got dominant front runner bandwagon fans. But that was just disrespectful to not have Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle on the first returns. That's all right though. Because there's only a number of selections that go to fans, and then coaches will put somebody on the team. Whether it's as alternates, it doesn't matter. It says all-star. It doesn't say all-star starter. We need to get these 2 in there. But my nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the day goes to those mother flipping bandwagon riders that disrespected Julius and Jalen Brunson by not having them on the first returns. They will be all-stars. All right? Last time going to the chat, then I'm going to give you guys my parting thoughts. It's been more than an hour. I'm going to get you out of here. I thank y'all for rocking with me. So what we got here? Last comment. Alawa says Mitch 18 boards, 2 blocks, 10 points. Mitch, man, we're going as far as Mitch takes us as well. Because once we get head to head with the Giannis's and any of the bigs in this league, we're going to need Mitch. We're going to need Jericho. We're going to need Hartenstein. All right, but Mitch is the key. Mitch, for us, it's not many other teams that got what Mitch brings to the table. All right, we need to have Tibbs as his coach all the way. All right, so I want to wrap this up, y'all. I want to thank y'all for rolling with me once again. I think this for me has been really helpful. There's a lot going on the outside, in terms of our day-to-day stuff. So our Knicks is also a welcome sight. So we're on a 4-game winning streak, man. We just got to keep this thing up. I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule, so I don't know who our next opponent is. But I love the fact that I was watching Toronto's post-game interviews. They were just talking about the Knicks was able to slow the basketball down on them. They said when they was kind of scouting us, it was fast-paced. The Knicks play a fast-paced style of basketball. But last night they showed the ability to make it a half-court style of play. And that, once again, is the versatility that we have, because we have that versatility on our roster. So that stood out to me. Also, 2 games ago, when we faced Toronto, Mikal Bridges said Jalen Brunson is the best one-on-one player in the NBA right now. When your peers and your opponents show you respect like that, it's a lot to be said. And there's more and more times where that's going to be happening throughout the season with this team. We are the real deal. The New York Knicks are a top team in this league. We have to continue to string together wins. We got to continue to stay healthy, and we're going to prove our worth. All right? So I want to thank you guys for supporting me. Keep in mind, same thing applies to life that applies to our team. If there's no struggle, there is no progress. And always support this team, but always remember, we are here, and we got next. Sheer Brilliance Knicks. I'm out. Peace.